In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting, hosted by Naeem Edwards.
Welcome to The Dark Side of Songwriting. My name is Naeem Edwards. I am your host, and today 50 Cent's son lied about their relationship, and we're going to walk all the way through it so you can understand exactly what happened and why he is out here lying, and how this can be prevented in the future if anybody out there plans on being anybody successful, whether you're in front of a camera or behind it, how you could prevent this from happening with you or prevent it as best as you can, because we know that there's nothing concrete, absolute, or guaranteed when it comes to parenting, whether you're a child, a parent, or somebody who has to deal with families, right? So if you know anything about Marquise, who is 50 Cent's oldest son, and you know anything about 50 Cent, they go back and forth all the time. They've been going back and forth for years, especially since Marquise is in his 20s now, and he's found it, he thinks it's funny to go play with the enemies and play with the other sides and try to do all this stuff, because in real life, Marquise is just actually hurt because of the lies his mother told him, which this all started with the baby mama. This book right here, recommended read for the Naeem Edwards book club, right? Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by 50 Cent. This book is just an amazing read, one, because it explores all the trials and the tribulations you never really get to hear about in the behind the scenes with 50 Cent, but it tells the real truth about being somebody that actually accomplished something and being somebody who actually grinded to get something and the people around you feeling entitled. 50 Cent in his book, he talked about how when he had his first child, they was young and they didn't know how to love, and they both come from crazy backgrounds and stuff like that. But he wanted to make it work with her. She started seeing all the money, and that's when it changes. Money changes the people around you. It should change you. The better the dollar amount, it should change you, i.e. make you a better person. But we know that when you come into any type of success, whether you just got a new job, whether you got a promotion at a job, whether you're just doing better than you was last year, these kind of things change the people around us. It is inevitable. And if your progress in your life is not changing the people around you, you need to get up and go harder. And I'm telling you to get up and go harder, because it should be changing how people feel about you. Whether, my mama always tell me, if you want to know how people really feel about you, get them some good news. Like, that's going to really determine what's going on with the people around you. But with 50 Cent's baby mother, she's just been wanting more and more and more and more and more. She felt like because 50 Cent got famous and 50 Cent got rich and 50 Cent did everything, she didn't have to do anything. And in the beginning of his career, he made it absolutely, possible for her to just go off to school and do something. And, hey, we have all this money. Let's try to do something and, grow this and make sure you good on your own, because we not going to be together, but I'm taking care of you. I want to make sure you good on your own. She decided that she wasn't going to go off and, fulfill her dream of doing real estate or fulfill her dream of doing whatever she felt like she wanted to do, because she finally had a child with somebody who was going somewhere. Marquise was small when 50 Cent blew up. So when 50 Cent blew up, he offered, and this is straight out the book, what I'm about to quote and tell you, he offered her a crazy amount of money for child support for every month or whatever. Like, he offered her like $20,000 or something like that. It might be more than that. Don't quote me on the exact number, but he offered her an absorbent amount of child support. He didn't go to court. He didn't have to do none of that. She felt like because he was 50 Cent, she was going to go get more, right? She took him to court. He did not want to go to court. He was paying for everything, bought her a house, did everything he could for her. She took him to court, and it ended up being like significantly lower. So at this time, we got to remember, this is 50 Cent, Vitamin Water, video game, #1 artist, diamond albums, just the biggest. He brought the gangster rap back for New York, right? She ended up getting such a low amount. He already had so much money coming in because they didn't know how good he was going to do. They just knew that, oh my goodness, when them checks come in like a year later, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, whatever months later, he paid off his child support for 18 years. He said he started paying it off in the beginning because he just looked at it as another expense. He didn't get mad at it or whatever. That made her bitter. And now, you hearing what I'm telling you, somebody pay their child support and somebody do what they're supposed to do. How could they be bitter if, hey, I'm giving you what you asked for? You took me to court. It's an absorbently low number compared to what I was offering you, but you got what you wanted. That made her bitter, because we got to remember, again, your success changes the people around you. The most successful man on the planet right now, as far as in the public eye, in the entertainment sphere, the number one rapper on the planet, he don't want nothing to do with you because y'all was just so messed up and dysfunctional. But Marquise, he grows up and he's getting the checks or whatever. He gets older. I think he was a teenager when 50 Cent decided that, like, I want to try to make this right. And in the book, he said he wanted to make it right. He tried to make it right. He tried to have a good relationship with her so he can have a good relationship with him, but neither one of them was having it. And now we're going to switch over to the Marquise side. With Marquise, 50 Cent came in and tried to make Marquise something that he wasn't. I'm just going to say it like that, because when Marquise was a teenager, just giving them the money, 50 Cent said he ran into him in a store when he was like in his younger, like 18, I'm saying teenager, but like, 18, 19, he ran into him at a jewelry store. 50 Cent went over to try to talk to him. He ran out the store and ran away like he didn't want to talk to him and just was like, get away from me. So that puts a very sour taste when you're trying to have a relationship with somebody. They start talking a little bit, and 50 Cent said, hey, the online sneaker market is booming. You might want to get in on this online sneaker thing. I will set up the business for you. I will buy all the inventory for you. All you have to do, ship the orders out as they come in. Marquise did not want to do it. 50 Cent literally set the bit, like, this was down in Atlanta because they was living in Atlanta at the time, the mama and Marquise. He set up the business. He fronted all the inventory. Like, you literally walked into this with nothing. Showed him how to do everything. Had people who was going to help him. And Marquise was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want that. When it was crazy, because after Marquise rejected that market that 50 Cent had tried to get him into just completely boomed and made millionaires out of a lot of people who were selling shoes online. I'm telling you this story is because when you look at 50 Cent and you see how 50 Cent is with his new son, I think his name is Sire. World of a difference. And I mentioned earlier how 50 Cent tried to make him into something that he wasn't, because Marquise never worked a day in his life. Marquise never had to do anything. He's had everything handed to him, even though the one thing that Marquise wants is a father. Marquise is now in that space where he's so bitter that it doesn't matter about you trying to be in my life now. You went off. You don't want my mother, so that's tearing him up. You didn't want me. That's what his mind is saying, even though it's the dysfunction between the parent. It's not the fact that he didn't want you. It's just the dysfunction between the parent was so crazy, and your mother is a liar. Because I've never seen Marquise ever mention how his mother was lying to him about his father, and his father was reaching out and trying to contact him and trying to be there for him, but she was blocking the play. We see you, running around with the Supreme Team, running around with, back then when he had issues with all those people in New York, we see you running and tag teaming and being the lackey for those people. I will cut you off too. I'm just gonna be for real, like, cause it's really no issue of me, it's really no point in me sticking around and sticking with you if you're just gonna, every time you get hurt, you're gonna go run to people who hate me. So it's easy, and I'm gonna be for real, it is easy to just go ahead and cut that off. That's a parasite, pariah. You're too damaged. You're too much. I can't be a good father to somebody who I'm trying to help. And my thing is, 50 meant well. Again, recommended read, y'all. I'm telling you, this the alternate page. This what we do, our back channel stuff. But when he came in and he tried to do that positive thing for you, you 100% rejected that, because it came with your father being attached to it, and plus you really don't know how to do nothing. So he was really showing you love and throwing you a bone and trying to make you. A lot of us as older people, and I'm not old, I'm not over 30, but we tend to think that the younger people in our lives, because they can see us and we visible to them and we're there, that they might follow into our footsteps. A lot of that, most of the time, it's not true. No matter how optimistic we are or whatever, because when we spoil these people, it breeds that entitlement into them. So you feel like because your father worked hard for something, you didn't have to go out here and make a name for yourself. You didn't have to go out here and do nothing for yourself. You didn't have to go out here and plan and make a future of your own. You felt like you, no matter what, was going to live off of your father. You was going to live off of that, whatever. But it's like your bitterness and your anger and your attitude got in the way of you even being able to be successful. Because you didn't heal and you didn't understand, and all your whole life, you're indoctrinated with one side of the story. 50 Cent, I don't want to be like, oh, he didn't do nothing wrong, but it's like, how much of responsibility am I supposed to take if I did everything I was supposed to do, trying to co-parent, but the other parent is lying on my name and lying and moving you away and all this other stuff that people, or she, not people, but she was doing at the time. The dark side of this in particular is you had to throw the baby out with the bathwater because he's just you're too damaged for it to be anything other than, let me just go off and start a family somewhere else, because it's nothing I can do for you at this point. It's nothing you want to hear. You are consumed by what's going on with the world. You're consumed by what's going on with what everybody else got to say. Anybody who don't like me will put a camera in your face. Anybody who want to be nosy will put a camera in your face. I don't have time for that. I'm 50 Cent. I'm just going to go start a new kid. So you basically, if you was really sincere, Marquise, about having that real relationship with him, you would have heard him out. That's your father. That's not our father. We're just entertained by him. You the one who got to wake up and go to sleep every night with the fact that you blew it. Because he walked through the doors, he tried to give you or whatever, and maybe sometimes people will, I read somewhere where they say people give gifts. People who want to do gifts, like excessively do gifts, sometimes they do that because they don't really know how to express their emotion or express their feelings or say, or whatever. So if I walk into your life as your father, or me as your mother, if I walked into your life with a peace offering and saying, hey, let's get to know each other, let's talk about what's going on, and you reject that, that's your business. Recommended read, y'all. This is the dark side of songwriting. I'ma holla at you.